hello. Another day, another stream. I'm sorry if my voice is a little bit muted right now. I gotta be honest, I've been doing a lot of recording, especially uh, especially because of my new course that I launched. I'm still recording the contents every day for that. So I just did two of the lessons today, which means I just spent like a few hours talking the whole time. So my voice is a little hoarse, or at least it feels that way. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of interesting things going on in my life here. Part of me kind of wants to. Part of me wants to do a game jam type of situation to kind of refresh my creativity and excitement in regards to everything. But part of me also wants to continue what I'm working on. Hey, Devi. I finally found out that it's not Dev Kaiser, it's Devi Kaiser. Is that correct? I think I've been calling you Dev Kaiser the whole time. Welcome. Hey, another tier 1 sub. Jeez.
Yes.
This stream is sponsored by Devi Kaiser single-handedly and their husband. Gee, I appreciate it. Devi Kaiser is one of the students right now that's enrolled in the course, and I think it's been going well. Some exciting, complicated stuff happening this week, by the way, for Module 2. Look forward to that. I just finished recording all of them. And we'll see. So we're in the middle of doing one of these things, making some modules, and determining if I should have it or not. I still am not perfectly sold on it yet. Devi says, it's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're supposed to have our once a week meeting today at 6 or 6:30, but announcement has been made. Unfortunately, my community manager is on the other part of the time zone, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to happen. Like when they say, I guess maybe I shouldn't share this. This should be probably confidential. so the time zone and everything and announcement feels a little bit off, but we'll figure that out. So this says, to watch my K-drama or to watch Ezra. Well, I could be your K-drama. What's the K-drama you're watching right now, Zuzu? I mean, it really depends. Are you watching it with your significant other? Then you should be spending time with your significant other. It's okay. I understand if you have to go take a break from Ezra. But alas. Yeah. If we modularize too many things, it might be too modular, So I got to be careful with this whole modularization section. Where were we? We were saying that there's going to be an action driver. An action driver will have different action modules. And action modules itself can have a sub-action modules that'll completely help movements with. Now, if the modules are nodes, I think there could be a little bit of like a loading issue. So I'm wondering if there's like fundamental movement setting that I can do that is not just like visual coding, essentially. We're going to go beyond visual coding because we all know visual coding has its limits. So I have to say, like, it would be nice if I can just like drop left, right type of thing. But we'll see. All right. A lot of talking, a lot of chit-chatting here with no actual results. That just is me. All right. I'm going to kind of review what has happened so far. So we're going to make an action driver, drives the action given the subject and the world and the action module. The design is that there's going to be world information, which is generic. That's not defined by me, but defined by the user, meaning the client of the plugin. The subject is the node that's going to be doing the move. I'm not really sure that the move itself should be programmed into changing the position of the node itself or not. That's something that I need to figure out. Narcoyo says, hello, hello, Narco. Welcome, welcome. Zeus says, I'm watching Hello My 20s. Kind of started randomly and it was cozy enough to stick. That sounds familiar. Is that an old one? Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is an old one. Yeah, I figured. That's a drama? Oh, it's on Netflix too. Interesting. It's always interesting to see K-drama translation in English because they don't have like the equivalent word for certain words. Fun. Well, either way. Okay. And we can make it so that the movement itself is strictly character body 2D. All right. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to say we have a plugin called Action Module. Or how about Character Action Module? We're going to implement our special little thing. We'll create a scene called Action Tester. And that's going to be a testing scene. And then we're actually going to create now what we design here, which is the driver. I think we already defined what action module should look like. So let's see if this works out. Seventh Sheep says, oh, it's a Godot project. What kind of game are you making? Right now, I've dropped into the rabbit hole of trying to generalize some sort of like solution for drop and play movement module for platformers or non-platformers in general, action, I guess, game for controlling characters. Because there are so many things that I feel like I'm like doing it over and over again and I'm tired of rewriting it. So I'm trying to see like how do you make it generalized so that like it's applicable to any kind of game. And also if I decide that I want to do new type of movement that I can easily add to it. If we're more curious about like what we're working on right now, this is like a Hollow Knight inspired platformer, a demo on Godot with all the basic functions like coyote time, run acceleration, variable jumps, and attack, directional attacks and such. Okay, it's kind of funky here, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know how many different ways you can make platformer. I guess that's another thing. It's like, is every platformer essentially Super Mario Plus? And is that wrong? Like, is it fair to say everything can be made with the engine that made Hollow Knight? Like, you just change the distance. Typically, I work on other things. I do a lot of deck builder games, just because that's my favorite, and then roguelikes. Mostly pixel art based games because I am I am a nostalgia fiend. So that's where we're at right now. But we're more so tooling focused right now. Brains Up says, hello, Ezra. First stream this year? No, I don't think so. But you know what? Just for you, we can say that it is. Let's see. The first stream was actually on the 2nd. Yeah. First stream was on 2nd. Devi says, I'm back. Had to use a little girl's restroom. Oh, I like to use unisex restroom, aka at home bathroom, because I only have one. But yeah. Seventh Sheep says, if you're asking why platformer, you might find the answer you're seeking. Why platformer? I see. Why does it have to be a platformer? And then you start defining the mechanics and all that. Okay, I see that. I see you. I am very strongly tied to the psychology and the the artistry of game development and design, which makes it feel like I'm too serious for game development, but we'll see. The signal says it's poor. Hopefully it's not lagging. I don't know why my streaming has been really bad these days. Oh, it's excellent again. Maybe not. Games creator says, hello, hi. Okay, this is about time I do a little bit of a self promotion real quick. I just launched a 30 days course for complete beginners. You don't have to know coding because I teach that as part of the game development. So go check it out. If you know anyone, if you're not a beginner, of course, I have a lot of free content here, anyways, on YouTube, like how to make deck builder. I do a lot of like algorithmic stuff and game design stuff. But if you're someone who's like struggling to get started, and if you know someone who wants to start but doesn't know how to start or have been just saying it, you want to gift them, send them my way. Otherwise, just enjoy the stream and the free content. That's okay too. A Blink says, hi, Ezra. I got an interview for SD1 at Amazon. Any tips how I should prepare? I'm kind of nervous. This is my first big tech. Okay. Well, if things hasn't changed since I interviewed for people, or I was the interviewer, they have a very specific principle called leadership principle. That is true. We literally, I remember, you go around if you're doing especially if it's the on-site interview, the second stage or third stage, we literally go around and be like, this leadership principle you are going to test for. This leadership principle you are going to test for. And we come around and say, this candidate showed this leadership principle. But every now and then there is a uncertain ones where they go, I'm not sure if they displayed it, but they did not display it. Then they go, okay, everybody else, do you think they displayed this part? And then they go around the table and go, strong hire, weak hire, strong no hire, or weak no hire, and then have a little powwow. So do look at leadership principle. Try to shape your answers around that, especially if it's behavioral. If you're just doing the screening phase where you're just solving problem, just like the very first one, be able to talk about your project, because basically it just needs to be like, oh, have you actually worked with people, or if you know what you're talking about, or are you just making this up? Are you using AI to lie through your teeth? And then leak code. Honestly, that's all that is. For Amazon specifically, they, I think, focus more on the object-oriented design, and then basic algorithm and data structure. So that's all I have to say on that. It's always the same. Samad or Sam Ed says, have you used Redo? No, I haven't, actually. Is that the thing that they made branch of Godot after the whole Godot political fiasco? I don't want to hop onto that. I haven't used it. I don't care for it, honestly. I'm fine with using Godot. I had no problem with this stance. Seventh Sheep says, no, bro, trust me, I'm 10x more serious than you, but I won't say much since it could break people. Okay. No, I mean, you know what? It's okay. Like 10x serious, it's okay. Break people all you want. You know, we are open discussion, open forum here. We like to have a discussion, but you know, it doesn't have to be emotionally charged. Narco says, I got a question. Do you think I can make a game like Peak? Oh, like the game Peak, or Lethal Company and Godot with multiplayer? I like Godot, but I don't know if I can make games like these without fighting with the engine or use Unity. You know, a little bit of fighting with engine might happen because of the multiplayer aspect, but I've seen a lot of people using it for that purpose and succeeding. So I don't think it's that hard. There are a lot of people in the community that's working on that too. So it really depends on what you're used to. Let's say like you've already worked with Godot for a while, then you already kind of know the workflow of it, that you don't have to switch. Like it might be easier for you to figure it out. But, you know, if you say, I feel like Unity has everything that you need and you don't mind learning it, because, you know, Unity is still used in the industry because it's a private company. It's easier for them to port to different devices. It's okay if you do Unity, but I don't think there's any reason for you to switch specifically or not switch. I just gave you a political non-answer, basically. Geek says, hello, everyone. Hello, Geek. Let's see. Devi says, I don't want to ignore Ishan. Ishan says, hey, hi. Ishan says, congrats, man, to Abe Link getting the interview. Cooley says, hey, Ezra and Chad. Hi, Cooley. Ishan also says, you should do resume reviews, Ezra. I don't know. I feel like I have been removed from the tech world long enough that I just might not have as good of a device. I mean, I have a better intuition than most people, I'm sure, because I've done it so much. But I don't know. Will people be like, why aren't you working? And I'll be like, well, look at my video. I said I'm not going back to tech world. So yeah, but who knows? If you really want me to, I can do a resume review. But resume only gets you through the door. Like the rest, especially in tech world, is the interview process that you need to kind of solidify. Nothing beats having experiences in your resume, honestly. Abling says there are 3 rounds, 2 technical, 1 behavioral. That's a lot less than normal. This must be the beginning? Did you get the on-site, or is this the first interview you're getting? Because that sounds like a first interview you're getting. So you do behavioral with either the hiring manager, meaning just regular manager who is putting the job up for hiring. But if it's like preliminary, you just need to really focus on answering behavioral with leadership principle in mind, which is publicly available. Even the recruiters share that with you freely, so really read through that. Let's see. Bar raiser. Devi says bar raiser. Oh, I forgot about the bar raiser. I got trained for bar raiser, but I never actually done the bar raising shadow interview and all that, because I was like, ugh, I really don't want to do this. It feels so weird because it feels fake. Interview feels so fake to me. Because I know that what to say. And it's all about like trying to help you say those things. By the way, Devi Kaiser is also, I don't know if it's a former or current Amazonian. I guess I shouldn't really expose that much. But I don't know. Interview process kind of turns me off in general. That's why I'm avoiding it. Devi says, remember the person who liked the tiebreaker or something? I forgot what they were called. Oh, yeah, bar raiser. Yeah. I mean, bar raiser is kind of a tiebreaker, but my experience is that hiring manager still has a huge say, especially if the hiring manager is like higher level or has been there around for a while. People like to, whatever. I'm not going to get too into it. I have some horrible experience of like, this person is not fit for the job. But then the hiring manager is like strangely pushing for it. It's like, oh, we can teach that. That's teachable. I'm like, but this other candidate already has that. What are we doing here? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Devi says, I didn't like being the bar raiser. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Says, exactly. Former I left. I see. No more Amazonians here. Cooley says, what's on the agenda for today? We're going to try to make our little action module plugin thing that controls all the actions of the nodes, specifically character body. Is this necessary? I don't know. I have in my mind, in my infinite wisdom and experience, it feels like it will be good, but there's a chance that it's just a meaningless work I'm doing for a promotion. You know what I mean? Like in a company, a lot of times you do some meaningless work that are meaningful and complex just to get a promotion. It could feel like that, except the promotion is for myself. So who knows? We'll figure it out. Because I am tired of rewriting movement logic every time. Abling says, it says on site, but if I mark no in survey, I'll have virtual scheduled. I see. Well, I mean, on site just means that final round of interview. So it doesn't matter if it's virtual on site. It just is a common word for it. It just says, nothing beats experience. That's why I'm starting at a new place in February. Professional C#.net time. Ooh. I have to say, I haven't like, as much as I've used .NET and C# in a personal time, in my like 12 plus years of tech experience, I haven't touched them professionally. Though I say probably if I worked at like a more closer to hardware places, I probably would have touched it, like maybe Microsoft. Silence says, what's abstract and what happened to your art gimmick? What about my art gimmick? Um, oh, you mean my art business? I mean, I'm still doing them. Silence says, what is abstract? Abstract is a kind of like ways to make a blueprint class that's not meant to do anything by itself. It's meant to be extended, but it's like instructing what needs to go into those classes. That's the short of it. Devi says, hey, Blink, look at something called a STAR method and implement that into how you answer questions. Situation, task, action, and results. Yeah. STAR method is like, I hate it. But it's like it's touted so many times in everything, even like for like a annual review and promotional documentation, not just Amazon, but just in general, in a lot of companies. This is like I feel like that's something that every business major maybe learn in their like management class or something. Because I feel like no matter where I go, like just like anytime we talk about like result and delivering result and proving result or proving your worth, it's like STAR method, measurable, specific, story driven. I don't know. Keep me at small to medium company that doesn't want to grow in its revenue, but just focuses on delighting customer. Please. That's the goal for my company. If I make one, and I'm hiring right now. No, just kidding. I can't afford to hire. But yeah. Devi says, I hate it too, Lamau. Amazon is extremely data driven. Yeah. You have to support that. I don't know if it's still true though. Ever since they went to Jesse instead of Mr. Bezos. I know it's pronounced Bezos. I like saying it. Some people does take wrong pronunciation so seriously. I don't know. Anyways, that's in the schedule here. We're just chit chatting. I'm a little tired because I just got out of like 3-hour session. Oh, okay. I don't know if this is gonna be part of the edit for the class, Devi. By the way, Devi is in our class, the 30-day course. I recorded the lesson, and like 40 minutes into the recording, I looked over to my recording and I realized I wasn't sharing my screen. It was just my face the whole time. Oh man, the way my motivation just died at that moment is crazy. So I had a long session today. But yeah. Anyways, extra module. So I'm making a tester so that I can test the movements. That means I'm going to have a character here, character body here, and then I'm probably going to drop the module in there. So we'll have, let's see, a scene called character body. We'll say action module using character. Change type to character body. And then you know what? I'm just doing kind of little exercises here. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna do sprite 2D here, or let's do a sprite frame. Excuse me. Oh my god. Oh, the hiccup. That's crazy. Hiccup and a burp at the same time. Sorry. A little gross. It's okay. We're managing it. So we're gonna put a little idle sprites here. And then we're just gonna let that be. Cool. And then I guess the next thing is we need to make a action driver. Should that be just a script? Potentially I could do action driver blah instead of dropping it. Maybe, I don't know. I'll make a node here. Regular node, call it action driver. Just creating things. It doesn't have to be a node, but it is. And then we said this is what it's going to be. So we'll say class name. It could be ref counted. I like ref counted, but I'm starting to get used to just making notes for everything. Chosholo fellow, I don't know if I'm saying that right, says, no, if it's the right way, please could we remake it on live next time? Huh? What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Devi says, oh my gosh, Lamau, just your face. I forgot to say I finished lesson 3 today. Wow, congrats. I hope you're following along nicely. The difficulty, I would say, is going to jump pretty significantly this week, but still something that can be managed. It's like working out. I'm not going to make you lift the weights I know you can already do easily. I'm going to make you lift a little bit heavier. So hopefully that's not too overwhelming. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So action driver, we said, I'm going to try to keep true to what we have planned so far. And in the documentation here, I said action driver is going to execute, and then it's going to handle the subject. It's going to key by the subject and then see what is happening. Okay, cool. So that means we're going to have a variable called subject to action, I guess. And subject will always be character body 2D. Though I kind of want to use a ID for it instead of the object itself, but we'll see. And then it might be the action module that's being executed currently. Let me think about this. Action state, action module. It doesn't do state management. I don't think it should. So that's what we're going to do here. So it exclusively goes between action module. And we're going to have a function that says execute, or I guess play. No. Action, execute, act. What's a good verb for it? I'm going to say execute. Execute sounds a little bit terminal, but we'll see. Execute action. We'll have subject and then the action, which will be an action module. And that's going to be doing something here. Blue Fox says, boo, existence I still hold. What? I don't know what that means. Should also remove the message. Sorry. I guess I had no idea what you were saying. So, did I confuse you? I'm sorry if I'm confusing you guys. But yeah, here we are. Okay, so execute action is saying that action module doesn't exist. Well, we're going to create it right now. A scene, it's an abstract class. I'm like, should it be ref counted? Because I want the action to be probably like factory. I like the idea of action being a factory, but then if it's a node, it gives us an opportunity to provide those like export variables. So maybe it will be a node. It'll be a node. So say action module, but it's not going to be, it's going to be script first, not scene, right? So we'll have script called action module, and action module is a abstract class, meaning it's a blueprint class. It should never be used directly. It should always be extended. So he says, what are you making? Well, I'm making a generalized action driver kind of system for any type of platformer or action game, because I got tired of rewriting the action and movement logic over and over again. So I want to be able to like expand and pull from different games I made the kind of like movement logic without feeling like I have to recode the specifics all the time, but rather everything is parameterized. Right now we're working on creating this platformer demo for our course specifically. So I just launched a 30-day beginner course for Godot. And so, we're focusing on making a simple platformer game in 30 days. And as part of that, I'm also working on some of the advanced logic for myself so that it has somewhere to go in the future, you know? So, I mean, that's the short of it. Looks and feels pretty good. But yeah, that's what we're doing here. Ooh, I almost knocked the water down. Narco says, by the way, are you planning to make a course in the multiplayer stuff? Multiplayer stuff, I think a lot of people are asking for it. I really want to do some deep research before I say I'm going to make a course for it. Like, I have a general idea from my other experiences in terms of networking, but specifically making network game in Godot itself, I haven't done it. So maybe I'll make something for myself as like a devlog, and then I'll do it. There is a plan, but it's not going to be like paid course plan for it. It's going to be like, if I do make it, it's probably going to start with like, hey, here's what I did, and this is what I do, and this is what we're going to do together, type of thing. So he says, oh, that's cool. How long to make something like this? Well, this demo, depending on how you know how right you want to make it. Like this game demo, I was able to create this exact thing in 3 days. And it wasn't even like 3 days, like 24 hours. I was working maybe like 3 hours a day. So I guess technically 9 hours I made this. But that's also because I know exactly what I'm supposed to do because I've done it so much. But hopefully my 9 hours can translate to beginners 30 days. Okay. Narco says, oh no, I already read that. Cholo Fellow says, can I request mechanic remaker for next time you're on live? Yeah, sure. Not sure what that means though. Can you describe exactly what you're talking about? What mechanic remakes are we talking about? I'm willing to do anything except inappropriate things, obviously. But you know what I mean. I feel weird that I have to specify that, but all right. So we're gonna go over here and see if this is still case. We got abstract here. We said action module will have cancellation configuration, which I need to create. I think that can be a resource because it's a config. So I'll create that. The pre-children update, meaning this runs before the children logic. So I'll make a little single tick update function that runs before the children action module. Runs. Okay. Then I don't know, return update finished if the function returns finished, children action module will start to run. I have to think about this. Do I want it to be parallel, or do I want it to be one module at a time? If I want something to be parallel, I feel like I should make it a sibling and then say run parallel, right? I think so. Game Creator says, hey, Game Creator 41 says, hey guys, people, sorry for saying bad joke. It just came up on my mind. This is so scary and funny. What if Ezra is just AI agent, video played in real time, AI answering our chat and being real, but it's just AI generated video to present and test the power of AI. I found it because of a strange background on chromatic of image in Ezra's personal video. I'm not AI, I promise. It's the lens. It's the lens. How do I mean, people who knew me before I switched my lens knows. Does it really feel that AI? It's so good lens. It puts the background out of focus. And I did this like separation. But you know what? Whatever. Believe that I'm AI. Cooley says, they're onto you as. Yes, exactly. Imagine if this was AI. How crazy would that be? Oh, this is the world we live in. Sholofelo says, a movement mechanic from a game called Ooh. Oh. It's on itch. Okay. Sure. Why not? You know what? I have time. Like, I'm not doing anything like that's like personally invested for me. So, oh. Is this it? Is this the game? Wait, this doesn't look like a platformer. Arrow, shoot, and loop. Is this correct? Hey, you know what? Link the game. Sholo. Games creator says, my thought isn't a tech. It is just funny idea came on my mind. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't think that it wasn't tech. It is funny. It is also strange and scary. Imagine. Hey, but I don't know if AI is able to do the whole like thinking thing. Let's see. I don't know for sure. Like, you know for a fact that something can't be AI if they go, I don't know. Narco says, nah, this guy is AI. Yeah, exactly. I'm AI. Narco says, I have 150 hours in Godot, but never touched multiplayer stuff. This guy's AI. Come on, man. Come on. Don't look, it's just was something that I wasn't interested in. But I do have an idea, by the way. So I'm doing a lot of game design talks, right? I'm doing a lot of game design related research and psychological based video essays on game development and design. And that made me think, you know what? I feel like I'm learning a lot of things and I'm identifying a lot of things. I wonder if I can make it as simple a game as possible that obeys all these things that still can be successful. So I had this like idea of like, I don't know, the tentative game name in my head is called Rock Paper Wizard instead of Rock Paper Scissors. And it's like a versus game, but then it's mechanically super simple. But then it has like just enough to make it a unique game. We'll see. Debbie says, nerd. Oh, hold on. I have a question out here. I mean, Devi being Devi, remind me. Is this a spoiler? So, okay, I need a copy editor. Okay. What that means is that I need someone to proofread my script because my script is starting to become more like emotionally charged or like trying to be like, rhetoric. And so I'm like, if there is people out there that is interested in doing that, I'm looking for a service. Okay. But what I'm saying here is that, here's the thing though, Devi. If I ask my viewers, one of my viewers with the ability to do so, and if I leverage that, am I spoiling the content for them and they become permanently a non-viewer? Right? What happens? Debbie says, I'm just sitting here in all my tech writer glory. I mean, it's kind of a bait for you a little bit because this is kind of pointed towards you a little bit. But I also want to kind of open up for people because, like, like, I don't know. I don't know what people are willing to do. I would love to get, because I have a video essay that I'm working on right now that I'm like, I feel pretty good about it, but I want to get it proofread. But also, I don't want to spoil it for people who usually enjoy my stuff in general. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know if that's something you're interested in doing. Okay, Chuckle says, real human AI hasn't perfected creating people with 5 fingers just yet. Oh, but is this 5? Are these 5 fingers? How do you know? Games creator says, sorry, Ezra, I didn't mean to insult your chat or video, but today really AI is strong in coding, programming, and creating videos and music and real talk chat. If everything is combined together, we will. No, just kidding. All right. Look, it's okay. Sometimes you get tricked, sometimes you don't. I think, when Photoshop first came out, people were actually being tricked by that. Remember that? Remember when PS1 or PS2 3D was like, oh my gosh, mind blowing. But here we are. So things will be more obvious as the time goes, I think. Cooley says, I saw 7 fingers. uh, Narco says, "Are you working on a personal project like commercial games?" I am. I have a bunch of stuff. I haven't opened them in a while. My main game that I'm working on is called Dread on Arrival. It's a crew management FTL like game, but it's not. It's like here. Let me show you. I don't know. Oh, it probably doesn't work because as you can see, I have a lot of projects. This is how you know I am a indie developer, like a legit indie developer. Just the pure number of unfinished projects. But it's not because I can't. Okay, I just like new things. Which reminds me, I want to start another project. Uh, so one of these things. Where is it? Is this it? No, that's the Blood is Mana. Ah, here it is. Hopefully, I won't crash. I'll show you though. Okay, okay. So we got this, and I had to revamp this, and we kind of switched our direction a little bit. Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I'm gonna get rid of the shader real quick. I was in the middle of something. Let's see. We're gonna get rid of that, and then the battle grid. Not the script. We want to go to the group. Ah, there it is. We will, I guess, get rid of the coverage here so it's not all wiggly. And then we have the demo for the combat here, the tester, space map, rogue. Yeah, roguelike version of the game. So this is the game. So we have this. This is my main game that I'm hoping to launch. So we had to revamp it. So because I was like, I want to do the combat better. So right now I have this part where you can choose a crew member, choose different station that they can be stationed at, and they have a number of actions. And you can do like different things. Like this one is weapon, shoot the missile, and then this one is going to move here, and then end turn, and then obviously you have enemy, etc., etc. Kind of like this one feels a little bit more like Into the Breach, right? With the objectives and stuff. Cool. The whole thing is that each crew goes into a different station. They have different actions. You can upgrade and modularize different stations. We're not real-time pause type of game, but rather like actually turn-based grid game with roguelike aspects. And originally, I still want this story aspect, which is this like citizen. What is it? What's the game called? This Star Citizen or something? No, it's not Star Citizen. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. What was the game called? It's like a space story game where you roll dice and put the dice onto the thing. Citizen. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't remember. I have to look it up. Anyways, so like it kind of like that where you have a open space, a station of key interest point, and then I just closed on my Godot project by mistake. And then you have like different key interest points and you go into it. I mean, I have a design doc, so I guess I could show that, but yeah. So I have that as a main game. I have a deck builder game that I released for the game jam that I'm planning on finishing called Blood is Mana, which is a tactics plus deck builder where you use the cards to move around within the map. That one was fun. I think that one actually is the closest one that feels simple and playable. Because let's see. I mean, this is a demo, incomplete demo that I released for the thing. I mean, it's kind of nice to go over the games I've made so far. is not Star Citizen. Star Citizen is the MMO, right? The 3D MMO one. I'm talking about this like I forgot what it's called. Jeez. Well, so you have this, and then in order to move, what you do is you recycle your card. So you see how this is your life at a cost. So your life is mana. And you can like strike, you can do things like cast Vein, which puts blood in the field. But in order to move the block, you can trash your card. You can move the amount that's equal to the cost of the card. So you could think, oh, some cards that has lower cost is better. But in fact, high cost card allows you to move more. So is it truly better or not? You know? So we could do that. I'll do Vein here. Gonna suckle, move, attack. All right, suckle. And then, you know, obviously you have this 0 cost heal, move. Anyways, pretty fun game, available on itch. I was gonna make a better version of it, so I did something. I did a visual update where I redrew the tiles, and as a result of that, the new isometric tile I created, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna release this as an asset pack. So I released it, so it's available for $1.45 or more, depending on how much you want to pay. Future updates are all included into the first purchase. So yeah, some of the things I've done. There are other games too, but we'll see. Games creator says your game looks like Master of Orion. Very nice game. Oh, I should try that out then. Narco says, wow, that is cool. Thank you. Chuckle says projects are never completed but abandoned. True. Yeah. Anyways, that's some of the things that are happening in my game project life, but I really want to make a rock paper wizard. It's kind of hard to say actually, rock paper wizard. Not to say that scissors is not going to be available, but I think it's just going to be regular rock, paper, scissors. But then like you get to like gear up your rock, paper, and scissors. Game says, did you compose the background music? That one I didn't. The Blood is Mana I didn't. My big project, what is it? The Dread on Arrival, the space game. I hired a musician. It was really amazing moody game. Some other game gems I did compose my own. I do play instruments and stuff like that, but I'm not good enough that I feel confident as much as like pixel art. I do most of them myself. I mean, for Dread on Arrival, I worked with a friend who I haven't really talked to in a while actually. Where are you, Revy? But yeah. Poppy says, whose game is this? Whose game is what? Any game that I just showed is all mine. God, I got so distracted here. Anyways, okay, action module. So we set the action mod. Hey, what happened? Did I not save? Ugh. Okay, well, I guess I didn't save it. I'm gonna have to repaste this. So action module is gonna be abstract. We're gonna have pre-children update. And that one is going to be a single tick update that runs before the children action module. And then I wanted to say, okay, if it's a parent, there's a logic that runs and needs to complete before the children is ran. So we're going to say return finished to continue executing children action module. Return update result cancel, I guess, to cancel the action. Terminate without continuing. return update result in progress to wait for next update cycle. Who's, yeah. Who's without the apostrophe for possession. Possessive. So we're going to do update here. Action module should define update here. So we'll say enum update result. But yeah, it's mine. It's mine. My game. I'm working on it. I have a bunch of game I'm working on. I need to really choose one and release. I really feel like I should have one that's like simpler game that I'm about to release for like a free or $1. So I can start building a trustable resume. And you know what? This is something I notice from my game jams all the time. I overcomplicate games too much. I really need to work on making fun mechanics with as little as possible. Because that's possible. That's the thing. Fundamentally, you don't need complicated things. And benefit of simple stuff is that it's easier to understand and it's easier to implement. So that's something I'm going to try to do soon. Before now, I am fixated on this module, so I'm going to do that for now. Progress here. Cool. Don't need that since it's update. We're going to have a second abstract class that is post children update. It's exactly the same thing as this. I mean, still finished to successfully finish the module. Cancel to cancel the action chain. In progress to wait for the next update cycle for this particular one. Hey, Fox Shadow. Fox Shadow just silently planting seeds out here. We got, let's see who's lurking here. We got the Wizardberry from Fruit Superman. I haven't heard that name in a while. Hi, Fruit. I see you lurking. Okay, so we got the post children update. There was one more function that I think I wanted to define. I forgot what it was. Sorry, my eyes itchy here. We said cancel config is one of them. On cancel. So on cancellation, we want something to happen as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to define abstract class called on cancel. Something happens here. So people can define what that does. The action cancel configuration shows like what part of this action can be canceled. Rather, actually, I don't like this actually. I think I also misspelled cancel here. This is like when the cancel actually happens versus we need something that says, hey, currently in the current state, when the cancel is requested, it needs to go, can you cancel or not, right? Fox Shadow says, currently deving on other monitor. If you get a sec, what's the current class for? The action module class? Okay, so the intention is that I am reprogramming movement and action logic for like dynamic action games way too many times and way too often. I'm trying to come up with a module or like generalized solution that I can easily implement things where a lot of the heavy lifting of some of the frame cancellation, animation cancellation, action chaining, and action switching be handled automatically for me, so I don't have to redo that every time, because that's annoying, you know? Fox Shadow says, is it like a command pattern? Currently, I think is more like a behavior tree pattern, which is not exactly command, because command pattern uses abstract command class, and each of the command execution defines itself, which I guess it can be a command pattern, or like each individual implementation takes over to determine if they can and what they do, as opposed to overarching orchestrator. But the caveat is each of the quote unquote command can have another command underneath it. So a command can be made out of series of commands. So in that sense, that feels a little bit more like behavior tree. Yeah. Games creator says, that is true. What about to make tic-tac-toe, Bomberman, or Pac-Man in Godot? I think we can do that. Little lore for me is that in high school, when I was in a computer programming class, this was entirely was not required. As a final test, we were supposed to make a final project that uses all the lessons we learned within a semester. In high school, by the way, I was junior, I think. 11th grade, depending on what region you are in. I ended up making, so this was a Visual Studio class. So we were using Visual Studio, Visual C++, I think. And I made Pac-Man. So I would imagine you can do that in Godot. Or not Pac-Man, Bomberman. I made a Bomberman, 2-player Bomberman, actually, because that was actually, funnily enough, making 2-player Bomberman was easier than making 1-player, because if you do 1-player Bomberman, you need to program AI, and AI is hard to program, actually. A Cholo fellow says, ooh, by name Takahashi. Oh, I see. Sorry. Takahashi. You mean the the game? By Takahashi. Are you delayed? I was asking this like quite a bit ago. I don't see. You need to link this. You need to share the link if you're gonna have me look at it. But I can. You just need to give me the information. Fox Debbie says, "Oh snap, Ezra lore, yeah, not a long lore, just a short lore there." Fox Shadow says, "I'll be working on some simple spaceship AI, 2D asteroid style, and have been looking onto a command patterns like setups." I guess that would work. Hey, do I kind of spoil the fun for you by saying, here's something that I made that you will never be able to use because I'll never release it because I don't have time to finish it? Maybe I will release it, but look. You weren't here. I'm having to show this every time because it's like somebody talks about it and I'm like something relevant always shows up. Behold, behavior tree for AI. So I'm making this easy finite state machine, behavior tree, and goal-oriented action planning module. And if you look at the implementation, we have something called behavior. And you can see I have behaviors like go and drop. And go and drop can have walk to target and then drop. And each one of them has parameters. And then you can decide if the behavior is a sequence or selector. This is typical behavior tree stuff. So for AI, if I wanted to do something, I just go do this behavior, which is a series of commands, basically. And in addition to that, we have a goal-oriented action planning, which basically you define for each of the behavior. You could be like, oh, the state requirement for this behavior is this, and it'll be changed. And what you get is this. A smart AI that behaves by itself. I'm not telling it to do anything like if else. It's just like try to get to the state of having a flower given the current condition, go through all the available actions and see what happens to the state and find a path behind all these behaviors, get to the point of having a plant. Smart AI, it thinks for itself. So, AI, hey, I've done something. Maybe I'll release it. That's the goal, but will I get there? The world will never know. Okay, so I said on cancel, meaning I want to define X runs when the cancel is requested on the chain, action chain. I guess the cancel. That's a little tricky. Because in the chain, if an action is canceled, should it run on the children first or on the parent first? I think it should run on the parent first. If the action module is nested run, the parents on cancel runs first, then children in order. Okay. And then another thing I want to define is that I need to define if the action is cancelable right now. Is or can cancel. And then that should be bool. There you go. So we have some abstract classes. We don't need configs here as we originally designed. I'm making it so that it's codified instead. Or not codified, but it's codable. Games creator says we're all delayed a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because my stream bit rate is pretty terrible. Just the way it goes, I guess. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. So they say. Let's see. What's happening here? Maybe I won't stream too long because I have a lot of things going on today. So we'll see. But here I am. Chatting, losing voice and such. Thanks, Devi. I just saw your DM. I'll send it over. See what you say. I want to know what like real writer says about my writing. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad. Anyways. Okay. I'm sure it'll only be better. I mean, there's two different things though. There's like aspect of like writing the rhetoric so that it works as a YouTube algorithm. And then there's a writing rhetoric for like a prose and like essay, because the commitment is different. The essay is that people have already committed to reading, right? So then the introduction can be more drawn out. But in a world where you have to grab interest first and then convince people to stay, it feels a little bit different. Though I guess that's kind of similar to novel writing a little bit. Novel writing also does this like whole like opening up in mid-action or opening up with relatable story in order to like hook people's emotion. So those things still apply, but I don't know. I feel like I learned a lot about writing or just like narrative writing in general. My problem is that my limitation is in the grammar and the vocabulary. Though I don't really need to know complicated vocabulary because they say in order to be approachable or more generally popular, you need to write in 8th graders level. Devi says, evil cackle. Direction and voice. Yes, direction and voice. Okay, so can cancel, blah, blah, blah. Cool. We defined this. And on the driver, I think it's going to receive the action module. What we're going to do is if there is action module in progress, ask if the current action can be canceled, execute cancel logic on the running module, execute newly requesting module, register the module for the subject. Right? Shola says it won't let me share the link. Oh no. That's kind of unfortunate. I think if you go to my itch, I think you should be able to DM me. Oh gosh, my eyes. Yeah. Try and see if you can DM me or message me. I'm not sure if that's a thing. Ooh, I gotta get rid of this. I don't have X anymore. I'm on Blue Sky, everyone. But yeah. Otherwise, you can join our Discord and DM me there too. Sorry. The link allowance can be tricky sometimes, especially when you're streaming. My eyes are extremely tired. Okay. So this part I think is pretty easy. So we say, hey, if the subject to action has subject already, and, you know, I guess subject to action get subject exists, meaning it's non-null, then we want to request our current action, which is action module. We want this to be requested as can cancel. Run the can cancel logic here. Only problem is that if it is a nested logic, I think the driver needs to handle the whole like ask can cancel, or maybe the children logic, the module itself should rely on the children logic. Runs when the cancel is requested on the action, like so. So we're going to say, you know what, is cancelable, which is a Boolean. And then if it is cancelable, we're going to cancel the current action on cancel, and then empty this out. Erase. I guess, I don't know if I should erase or replace. I think replacing is better. I want to hold. So clear. Can I clear? No. Go subject equals null. So we just cleared it. If it is cancelable, we're going to cancel it and then remove it. Cool. Here, hold on. I got to make sure my Discord is open so I take any DM or messages. If there's any. I'm sorry. And if it's not something that we figure out this time, we'll figure it out next time. What was it? Chillhop fellow. Okay. Is that everything? Let's think about this. The calling of cancel will stop the action. And then we're going to go over here, replace it, and then we come over here. All right. Like so. And then once everything is canceled and emptied, the problem with the uncancel is that this might have like sequence of things. Hopefully it'll be non-async function. And then we're going to register the action. So the subject will equal to the action here. And then we're going to execute it. Now execution is a little bit tricky because execution happens on loop. So as long as we're registering, we did cancel with a subject. I guess we should empty it out first. We're going to empty it out so on the next run the execution doesn't happen. And then we're going to cancel. And then we're registering it. And on loop, when it's repeating, this is where we're going to go through each of the subjects, which I guess because it's not running parallel, the order would matter. But for now, I think it's okay. So we're going to say for subjects, so we say subject in this key, we're going to grab the action module, right? So we got the subject to action that's currently registered. And if action is non-null value, we will, well, I could also, we'll do execution of this thing. Problem, pre-children and post-children. We're going to have to define this actually. Tree traversal kind of sucks. We'll have to figure this out a little bit. Okay, Cholo says they just sent the link for the game. Oh, cute. It looks cute. Oh. All right. I'm going to take a look. What movement logic are we talking about? WASD. Wow, that's so cool. Wait. Oh, it's like a Bomberman. I see. Ah. It's like platformer Bomberman. That's cute. Yeah, this is doable. I love that. Very unique. Okay. I see it. I see it. Oh, I messed up. Oh, what does that do? Oh, interesting. I love it. It's very cute. A little bit of bug. You can leave bombs off screen, I guess. Oh. Hold on. There you go. Okay, okay, okay. Smart. Smart. Ah, wait. I just recycle. Oh. This is pretty cool. Let's see if there's any secret here. Aha! I knew it. Look at me go, everyone. I mean, ceiling. Yeah, this is doable. It's like not too crazy. You can do same kind of like similar logic as normal, like platforming, and should be good, I think. It's just a matter of doing the action on explosion as opposed to key command. Very cool. And free game, not to mention. It's also a very smart wall design. The tile design, I mean. Ooh, 2 bombs. Very cool. Oh, it follows me? Wait. Wait, why can I not? Oh. I see, I see. Hold on. Interesting. Because I have to go up into the platform. Oh. Please finish the demo. You want me to finish the game? Oh my gosh. All right. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. I was getting smart. It's getting harder. Hold on. Ah! Keep missing it. It gets more complicated? Okay. I like it. It's fun. It's kind of unique. I gotta be on top. I see. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Very cute. Let me think about this. Oh, I know. Is that gonna be... Oh, I can't do it in midair. Can I put down midair? No, I can't. Like that, maybe? Oh, press the wrong button. But I think that's right. That's the solution. Hold on. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Look at us go, guys. Darth Bleshman says, greetings. Hello. Hold on. Aha. You can't hide. More secrets? Yes. Don't try to lie to me. I know your game. What? Oh, don't tell me I have to go all the way up again. What? Where are you? Where is it hiding? It must be hiding. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, oh, the hint is that like there's like a symmetry. You should be able to tell from that. Okay. Oh. I messed up. Got it, I got it. Hold on. The second bomb projectile moving the player and sticking to the player is what I can't figure out. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, it's a proximity thing. I'm not really sure why it would be so difficult. Wait, what am I supposed to do here? Because I get stuck if I go in there. Because I have to be right next to it to make it explode. Maybe I need to be quick. Here, I got it. Man, this is an action game now. Okay, one more time. Dang it. That was so quick. Yeah, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait, am I thinking too much? Oh, that's so hard. What's going on? But yeah, okay. Well, I figure it out. I think we can do it. We'll think about it. I can show you later. But I think that's something we can do. Doesn't seem too difficult. That's fun. That was fun. Wow. Good game. Go to our Discord and go check it out if you want to play it yourself. Discord is available here. Okay. Pretty cool. All right, so we have the action. If the player is currently on some action, we want to be able to pre-children, post-children, etc., etc. The action itself doesn't have any like children information yet, so that's a bit of a problem here. That means somebody needs to keep information on where in the tree, where in the tree we're executing currently. Let's think about this. I mean, the module itself will have all the information of what's underneath it. Now, if I say I want to cancel something, you know what? I'm going to replace it. Okay. What I'm going to do, I guess the post is the only difficult part. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do the post. Because I might get rid of this, actually. I think we just go update. Cancel in progress. And then before children action module. And then, yeah, that's all we need to do, I think. So that way we can just run update. And depending on the result of the update, we can say, hey, if the result matches the action module update result dot finished, we're going to do something. Then we probably need to do this or like this. Action module update result in progress. If I know how to spell. And then we'll do action module update result cancel. Okay. So those are the possible results of the action. I suppose to make it so that it's not so nested, I could just go like this. So it terminates the loop if the action is null. Uzain says, how much time you think it takes to build a system like GAS and Unreal Engine? Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, no problem. I'm actually not familiar with what GAS is. So let me see. GAS Unreal Engine. Gameplay ability system for... Oh, I see. Let me take a look at what it is. I mean, I'm sure it takes a long time. It's an ability system component. I can kind of guess what it might do. Sample here. It has component and attributes. I mean, it really depends on how general of a solution this is. I mean, essentially, this is what I'm trying to make in my own way, right? Because you have to be like, oh, what are all the parameters you need to create? You need like strong requirements of what you need. Really depends on how robust the system is, I think. If you're saying, hey, most of the functionality, this is all just a manager, like this is just manager and provides framework for the client or the coder, the developer to make their own implementation, then I don't think it takes too long. Most of the planning or most of the implementation time is in the planning. But if it is like, oh yeah, no, we are defining specific type of abilities and what they do, and we're going to implement those things for people, along with opportunity for people to extend each of those ability without an error, that's like a huge project because you have to like test extending these components. You have to test like customizing components. So yeah. Mike Ars has been playing around building one for Godot at the moment. There are also some others doing it as well. I mean, it must be good if people are doing it. I am only doing this whole action module thing because I'm annoyed. I didn't realize there was an ability system, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see how useful that is. Shola says, thanks, even next live is cool. Yeah, I think we'll probably do it when I'm feeling less tired. But yeah, now maybe I'll take a look. I'll do a deep dive on the GAS system and what it does and what the benefit of it is. And maybe we can identify the true benefit so that we don't just go ham on generalizing everything to match feature, but see what we actually need. Mykar says, I'm from an Unreal background and like the system. Really? Can you explain a little bit, Mykar, what the GAS system really gives you that you find helpful in general terms? And we can talk about that. I would love to see. Okay, so the action module, if it is done, we're moving on to the next one. If it's in progress, we're going to stay. We're not doing anything. We're keeping it as is. If it's a cancel, or the cancel request comes through, then we have to immediately cancel and remove. So we'll do on cancel execution. The action will run the cancel. And then deregister the action. Only problem is that this one is like currently running. I wonder if I should keep track. I need to do tree traversal here. I can't avoid it. Unfortunately, I need source of truth by saying, hey, subject to action is like doing this right now. And then I need another tree or another component. So this one will hold on to the entire action. And then we need something that keeps track with the current action, which is the currently executing action for this particular thing. And of course, on reset, or on, I guess, reset, initialize, I guess I could do init, on ready maybe? I'll do on ready. Maybe not on ready. You know what? I'm going to say on reset. It's going to empty those things out. I mean, it does have character body as part of it, so I don't know if the memory management will go crazy. If I say, hey, for example, character body becomes should I provide an ID? I don't know. We'll see. Mykar says, one example is you can create a health system for the game. It applies to any entity. Then you can create a poison effect. When applied, it starts ticking down. Then it can have a cooldown to auto remove from the entity, but it could also be removed if a cure is applied. You can apply the poison by many sources, say plants, water, weapons. Is it really that useful? This reminds me of when you were asking me about the tags. Like, how do you tag abilities for whatever in Godot so that you have these like automatic update a system and then you remove and apply different functions? I mean, right now I feel like the biggest ways to implement it is definitely utilizing the group. Maybe make it a local group. Otherwise, you got to utilize the metadata to register those information and then abstract out the tick for each of the ability or functions and define relationship. I think that's doable. I mean, I'm sure the teams in Unreal Engine did a lot of thinking there. So maybe looking at it and copying some of the functions and methods that is exposed within the implementation in Unreal Engine might be helpful. Mike R says it uses tags for applications and such. Yeah, I figured. And tags are kind of tricky because it's like, once you start doing tags, then you start doing like indexing by the tag. And then you're utilizing a lot of memory space in order to keep track of those things. But that's useful. Okay. We're going to have to do some tree traversal thing. Technically, because it's a node, it should have ability to get parent and get children. So we're going to rely on that to traverse up and down. Great Grievance says, at that point, you might as well just use ECS. So you want query on clumped memory. ECS? Elasticsearch? Or are you talking about something else? Entity component system. Yeah. I mean, entity component system makes it a little bit more bloated, but yeah, by the time you make the tag so that it's so complicated, then you're like, well, it's just entity as status. But people get used to tooling, so it's like providing tooling for people to get used to, and then like people kind of execute very automatically. Mike R says, I used poison as an example, but it could also be boosts and such. So you have a sword that increases your speed as long as sword is in your hand.